Giannis Antetokounmpo was once the crown jewel of the NBA's most unlikely dynasty. The kind of player who didn't just change a franchise, he changed a city. A two-time MVP, a Defensive Player of the Year, a Finals MVP who dropped 50 points in a championship-clinching game. In 2021, he put Milwaukee back on the map and made the Bucks one of the most feared teams in the league. Fast forward to 2025, and that fairy tale has completely unraveled. The Bucks are on the verge of their second straight first-round exit, and the same fans who once paraded through downtown Milwaukee with Greek flags and Bucks jerseys are now holding their breath, wondering if their superstar is about to walk out the door. But this wasn't just some slow, inevitable decline. This was a full-blown collapse, and it happened fast. It started with the front office trying to do too much. After their 2021 championship, the Bucks kept the core intact. Giannis, Chris Middleton, Jrue Holiday, Brook Lopez. It was a team built on chemistry, defense, and selflessness. But when they couldn't repeat the magic in 2022 and 2023, pressure started building. So they made a move. A blockbuster. They shipped Jrue Holiday and multiple first-round picks to Portland in exchange for Damian Lillard. On paper, it looked genius. Dame was still averaging close to 30 points a game, one of the best shooters in NBA history, and he had something Holiday didn't: a killer instinct in crunch time. Pairing him with Giannis felt like a cheat code, but the cracks appeared almost immediately. Dame was already 33 when the trade happened, and while he looked great in the first few months, his health didn't hold. In March 2025, he was diagnosed with a blood clot, a terrifying and serious issue. The kind of condition that doesn't just sideline you, it could end your career. With Dame out, the Bucks fell apart, and while Milwaukee was spiraling, Jrue Holiday, yeah, the same guy they traded away, was thriving in Boston. Lockdown defense, veteran leadership, and oh yeah, he helped the Celtics win another title. It was insult to injury. The Lillard trade wasn't just a loss on the court, it crippled the Bucks' future. They mortgaged their draft picks through 2031. They're deep into the luxury tax. They've got zero flexibility and no young stars waiting in the wings. But somehow it got worse. As if trading Jrue wasn't enough, the Bucks made another baffling move. They dealt Chris Middleton to Washington. In return, Kyle Kuzma. And not even peak Kuzma. Just a slightly above average scorer with streaky defense and a tendency to disappear in big games. And the real gut punch? The Bucks added rookie guard A.J. Johnson to sweeten the deal. Just a throw-in. But since joining the Wizards, Johnson has flashed serious potential. He dropped 19 points in the fourth quarter against the Kings and has shown he can create his own shot, something Milwaukee desperately lacks when Giannis sits. So now, Giannis is surrounded by an aging Brook Lopez, a hurt Damian Lillard, an inconsistent Kyle Kuzma, and a bench full of guys who wouldn't crack the rotation on a real contender. And then there's the coaching situation. After firing Mike Budenholzer following their 2023 playoff flop, the Bucks hired Adrian Griffin, a first-time head coach, longtime assistant, and someone Giannis reportedly supported. Griffin got off to a great start. Milwaukee was 30-13, but suddenly, out of nowhere, he was fired mid-season. What happened behind the scenes is still unclear. Some say it was a locker room tension. Others claim the front office panicked. Either way, they replaced him with the one coach who's probably blown more playoff series than any other active coach, Doc Rivers. Doc's arrival was supposed to bring leadership and playoff experience. Instead, it brought confusion and underachievement. His rotations were questionable. His offense looked dated. His adjustments were non-existent. And his press conferences? A masterclass in blame shifting. Giannis never openly criticized him, but the body language said enough. Slumped shoulders, blank stares, head shakes after timeouts. It was clear the trust wasn't there. Then came the Giannis interviews. In November 2024, he told GQ, "I love Milwaukee, but I love winning more." In February, he added, "The next challenge might not be here. That's not just frustration. That's a warning shot." Giannis is 30 now. Still in his prime, but he knows the clock is ticking. He's not going to waste years carrying a team with no plan, no picks, and no direction. Not when teams like the Thunder, Nets, and Lakers are circling, watching, waiting for the chance to make their move. And make no mistake, those teams are already preparing offers. Oklahoma City could trade Josh Giddey, Jalen Williams, and a mountain of picks. Brooklyn has young players and over a dozen draft assets. The Lakers could package Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, and future firsts. Even Miami has shown interest, dangling Bam Adebayo and young talent. The NBA knows what time it is. Giannis might not ask out publicly. He might not stage some dramatic "I want out" press conference. But behind closed doors, conversations are already happening, and the Bucks know it. They also know their future is bleak. They don't control their own first-round pick again until 2031. They're locked into aging, expensive contracts. Damian Lillard's deal alone will pay him nearly $60 million when he's 36. Brook Lopez is 37. There's no young core, no future MVP waiting in the wings, no cap space to sign big names. So they have two choices. Option 1, keep Giannis, pretend everything's fine, and pray for a miracle. Hope Dame returns healthy. Hope Doc suddenly learns how to coach in the playoffs. Hope Kuzma stops disappearing. Spoiler, none of that is happening. Option 2, trade Giannis now, maximize the return, and start over. It's a painful thought. Trading away the best player in franchise history. A guy who's given everything, who stayed when others left, who delivered a ring without needing to form a super team. But it might be the only way to save the franchise long term. Because holding on to Giannis while the rest of the house burns down, that's not loyalty, that's negligence. If they trade him this summer, they could get a king's ransom, picks, young players, cap relief, a reset button. If they wait, and Giannis walks in free agency in 2026, they get nothing. And here's the real tragedy. None of this had to happen. They had the perfect formula in 2021. Defense, chemistry, depth, and a humble superstar who led by example. But instead of building slowly and sustainably, they tried to shortcut the process. They chased stars, traded away their future, hired the wrong coach, and now they're paying the price. It's hard not to feel bad for Giannis. He's doing everything he can. Still averaging 31 points, 12 rebounds, and 6 assists. Still playing elite defense, still showing up every night. But one man can only carry so much. The Bucks wasted his prime. And he knows it. And if you think this is just about basketball, you're wrong. This is personal. Giannis isn't just a player in Milwaukee. He's a symbol, a hero, a cultural icon. This is a guy who stayed when no one thought he would, who signed a supermax deal when the NBA world expected him to leave, who brought life to a franchise that had spent most of its existence in irrelevance. Losing Giannis won't just hurt the team, it'll shatter the city. Milwaukee isn't Los Angeles. It's not Miami. It's not New York. It's a small market that needs stars to thrive. And for a decade, Giannis was that star. On the court, off the court, in the community. His departure would be a seismic blow to everything the Bucks have built. And make no mistake, this is the last straw. If Milwaukee flames out of the playoffs again and the offseason brings no significant changes, Giannis will be gone. And when he is, it won't just be a trade. It'll be the end of an era. The final chapter in one of the greatest modern NBA stories. And all of it, every single part, was preventable. So when the headline drops, Giannis traded, remember this video. Remember how it started. Remember what Milwaukee had. And remember how fast they let it all fall apart. Because some franchises build dynasties, and others, they burn them down. Now let's talk about what Giannis is likely thinking right now. This isn't just about basketball. For Giannis, legacy means everything. He doesn't want to be remembered as just a great stat guy who stayed loyal but never won again. He wants to be remembered like Tim Duncan, loyal and successful. But right now, the Bucks aren't giving him the second half of that equation. The truth is, Giannis gave Milwaukee more time than most stars would. In today's league, guys jump ship the second their team stops contending. James Harden forced his way out of 2 franchises in 2 years. Kyrie Irving? Same story. Even LeBron left Cleveland twice. But Giannis, he doubled down. He believed in the team, the city, and the front office. And they let him down. They wasted the best years of his career trying to patch things together instead of building a long-term vision. Imagine it being Giannis. You gave your entire body to this team. You've played through knee injuries, ankle sprains, back spasms. You've carried a roster night after night, putting up monster numbers just to scrape by. And then you watch your front office hand over half a decade of draft picks for a 34-year-old point guard, and then fire your handpicked coach halfway through the season. That has to feel like betrayal. And look, loyalty in sports is beautiful, but it should go both ways, and the Bucks didn't hold up their end of the deal. Now let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture. If Giannis leaves, it won't just change the Bucks, it will change the entire league. Wherever he goes instantly becomes a title contender. A Giannis trade would shift the power balance in both conferences. It would reshuffle contenders, crush playoff hopes for some teams, and catapult others to finals favorites. If he goes to Oklahoma City, you're looking at a dynasty. Giannis, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams, that team might never lose a playoff series. If he goes to Brooklyn, they finally get the superstar they missed out on with KD and Kyrie. If he joins the Lakers, it's Giannis and Anthony Davis under the Hollywood lights. And don't sleep on other teams lurking in the shadows. The Knicks have been stacking assets. Toronto could offer Scottie Barnes and picks. Even Golden State could make a call if they're willing to part with some combination of Kuminga, Wiggins, and future picks. There's not a single front office in the league that wouldn't at least have a conversation about trading for Giannis. Now, if the Bucks do trade him, they better get it right, because this is the kind of trade that defines a franchise for the next decade. You can't just take the best offer. You have to take the smartest offer. You need young talent, multiple first-round picks, and a chance to reset your identity. And you have to do it fast, because fans will revolt. This isn't like when the Spurs traded Kawhi. It's not like when the Nets blew it up. This is different. This is Giannis. This is the heart and soul of Milwaukee sports. This is a guy who brought a small market franchise to the top of the mountain. You mess this up and you might not recover for 20 years. But let's flip it. What if Milwaukee somehow pulls off a miracle? What if Dame gets healthy, Doc figures it out, and they make a deep playoff run? It's not impossible, but it's unlikely. The Eastern Conference is too deep, the Bucks are too old, and the locker room looks fractured. Even if they make it past Indiana, they're not beating Boston. Not with this roster. So we come back to the same place we started. This era is ending. And it didn't have to end this way. In 2021, the Bucks were a model franchise. Smart drafting, patience, cohesion, and then desperation. The moment they tasted success, they chased more of it too fast. And in doing so, they sacrificed what made them great in the first place. Now they're left with one final brutal decision: trade the greatest player they've ever had, or lose him for nothing. Either way, it's over. And for Giannis, it's not about the money. It's not about the fame. It's about winning. He's not going to waste another season carrying a broken team, babysitting bad decisions, and answering questions about chemistry, coaching, and trade rumors. He's done everything he possibly could. And now, for the first time, he has to think about himself. Because legacy doesn't wait. Championship windows don't stay open forever. And sometimes, loyalty has a deadline.